Hi guys, good morning. We are the group 2 and we will going to discuss about the globalization and communication. But before we go further into the examples of globalization, let me define first what is globalization. Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations. This process has effects on the environment, on culture, on political systems, on economic development and prosperity, and on human physical well-being in societies around the world. In globalization, there are also advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are production costs are reduced and therefore products are offered at lower prices. Employment increases in places where multinationals arrive, especially in underdeveloped countries. Increase competitiveness among entrepreneurs and raise the quality of products. Technological improvements that help the production and speed of economic transactions are discovered and implemented. The disadvantages are degradation of the environment by the exploitation of resources, economic inequality within each nation since globalization benefits large and powerful companies. In developed countries, unemployment and poverty will increase because large companies migrate to other places in search of labor and cheap raw materials. And let's define also what is communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place to another. Although this is a simple definition, when we think about how we may communicate, the subject becomes a lot more complex. There are various categories of communication and more than one may occur at any time. There are three types of communication: the verbal, non-verbal, and written. The example of verbal are face-to-face, telephone, radio, television, or other media. The non-verbal example is body language. The written are letters, emails, books, magazines, and etc. There are also advantages and disadvantages in communication. The advantages in communication in non-verbal: first, it demonstrates a great part of a person's personality. Second, it reinforces what has been said. In verbal, first, instant feedback. Second, allows to know the person better. In written, first, it remains with time so it can be used more than once. And second, reflect well what we want to express before doing it. The disadvantages in non-verbal: first, it can contradict verbal language. Second, not all gestures are universal. In verbal, first, it can be misinterpreted. Second, can be affected by nerves or anxiety. In written, first, there is no immediate feedback. And second, there may be a misinterpretation since there is no one to explain what is written. That's how we define globalization and communication. The 9 examples of globalization will be discussed with my group mates.